What's going on, fellas? Today we are talking all about lighting. Peter says hi, but this video isn't about you, it's about lights. But I've been testing out a new light for the last month and I'm super happy about it. It's definitely way up here on my recommended list, but first, why don't we talk about my older favorite light? Right here, this thing, the Aputure 120D. That used to be my primary light. It was right here, front and center, just doing all this nice soft lighting on me. Now, the reason why that was my favorite light for so long was because, first of all, it wasn't super expensive. It was like right around 600 bucks. And some of you guys might be like, holy shit, that's expensive, because there are some lights out there for like 100 bucks. But if you compare it to like other lights that are like thousands and thousands of dollars, it's a solid deal. I would actually consider it to be like the least expensive light that's professional grade. Also, the color of light coming out of there is very good. It has a very high TLCI rating, meaning it looks very natural. And I even did a blind side-by-side test a while ago. This one's by far the crowd favorite, and I agree, it looks very nice. And it's important to have skin tones under this light look very natural, opposed to putting in little tints of green or magenta, which could start making you look not as beautiful. Look how pretty I am right now. This lighting's great, I love it. Honestly, I would say most of the time, lighting is more important than the camera you have. Because with good lighting like this, even if I just shoot it on my iPhone like this, it looks pretty decent. The light itself was super bright, but you could also dial it down if you need to. You could attach a big softbox like what I have up here, so the light comes and hits me nice and softly, or you could even focus it with a Fresnel. I did a whole video about 10 different lighting setups you could do with just one single light. So it's very flexible, very powerful. You could run it off a V-mount battery if you don't have access to household power. And the fixture itself is very small compared to like crap like this. I've taken it to a bunch of different shoots. It's traveled with me everywhere and it hasn't let me down yet. But obviously nothing's perfect, so I did have some complaints. Now, my biggest complaint was that you had to connect this thing into this controller with this cable, which is about like 5 feet long, and it's a unique cable as well. And then this controller connects to a power brick with another cable about 4 to 5 feet long, and then it connects to the wall using another cable that's a couple feet long. So it was super annoying trying to set this up on a stand up high, and then you can't just dangle this thing on the cable, so you have to figure out a place to kind of hang this. And then if you want to hang this thing up kind of high, then that power brick is dangling, and it was always kind of this hassle of like, okay, where to mount this thing. Next up is this tightening knob right up here, which is fine if you're just running it just like this to adjust that tilt, but once you start putting on something bigger like a dome light on here, then you really have to tighten this thing down. You're kind of concerned about breaking the thing. Now, this is where it mounts onto a light stand. It's weird because out of like the 10 C stands we have, it only just doesn't fit 2 of them. I don't know how to say this without it turning into like a rated R joke. The silver standard C stands are totally fine. The 2 it does not fit on are the Matthews black ones. I swear the black ones come a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna get lit up in the comments now. Great. The arm was by Matthews, so it's very possible that they accidentally machined one just slightly thicker than it's supposed to be. So that might not be Aputure's fault, but it also doesn't hurt to just make this a tad bit bigger so you can slide this on even just the missized arms or light stands. Also, there's this one screw holding on this to the light itself, and it's come loose on me a couple different times because there's only one screw there. Now, obviously, these are all very minor issues, so if you've got one, it's still gonna do the job just fine, but it has been demoted from my favorite light because that 120D Mark II that I'm using, which is the newer version of this, fixed all those problems and it's brighter. Now, what's really awesome about having multiple Aputure lights is that they all come with this remote and they're very, very easy to use. See, like I can literally adjust everything from here. I should get that one replaced with the Aputure light too, so I could just like literally just do all my adjustments just from right here and be lazy. The 120D Mark II is a bit more expensive than that original 120D, but because of those issues that I mentioned with that, I definitely think it's worth that extra little bit to get the 120D Mark II. Most obvious difference is that it is brighter, and a lot of times you don't need nearly that much output. Right now I have it at 55% and I have it going through a dome light softbox. I'll pull the camera back and you can see. Literally, if I crank this thing all the way up, I would just go blind. Whoa! So when you consider the size of this thing and the amount of output it puts out, it's really, really impressive. You definitely don't always need that much output, but it definitely helps to have that option. The first shoot I ever took it on, we were on a top floor of a building shooting outside of a window. Interior was dark, the outside bright. So you're literally trying to match the output of the sun, which is really difficult to do. But if you walk this thing thing in and crank it up, you can get a lot of exposure out of this thing. We were also doing some high-speed video the other day. We were shooting at 10,000 frames per second. It was overcast that day, so we didn't have that much natural light. So we put a Fresnel head on this 120D Mark II, focused it in, and it was able to expose a 10,000 frame per second shot without a flicker, which is really cool. And also, if it doesn't flicker at 10,000 frames per second, you pretty much have nothing to worry about when you're shooting slow motion with these lights. Taking a look at the controller, it's very familiar. It is a little bit bigger, but you don't have to worry about that power brick anymore. So it's way easier than having two short little things dangling off the light. Man, that used to be a pain. The crank to tighten the head, also much more robust and easier to do. The mount itself is attached with 2 screws instead of 1, so I don't have to worry about it popping out on me. They did a really great job with it, because it's like the 120D was an awesome light, and they just looked at every little thing that anyone had to complain about it, and they fixed it up. I want to talk trash about this light right now so that you guys don't think it's a sponsored video, even though it's not a sponsored video. I wish it was a jetpack also. They should totally make it so you could put it on as a backpack and just chew. So I'm kind of disappointed they haven't done that. Ooh, I do wish that this light was bicolored so you could dial it from daylight to tungsten, but it's also very simple to just gel these lights as well, especially with the Mark II light domes. This came with a filter holder, so that makes it even simpler. And again, there's so many different lights out there, but this is the one light that kind of can do everything. There's other lights like this that's flexible and it's very bright, super durable. It's very easy to pack. You can shape it into all kinds of different ways, but if you wanted to like focus the light or make a slash on a light, kind of like what this light's doing over here, you can't really do that with this. With these lights, just pop on a Fresnel and some barn doors to cut it, and there you go. If you want it to be super soft, then get this dome light. If you want it to be kind of soft, then get this dome light mini. It's awesome because it's so versatile. You can have this one light and you can attach many different things out of it. And also, if you guys haven't seen what this Mark II does, oh my God, we all hate setting these things up, right? Trying to align all those rods and stick it in. These don't collapse as small as the other ones, but man, the amount of time you save trying to set this up, so much easier. I love that thing. Anyhow, it's starting to get kind of dark. Let's see how bright this thing can get outside. All right, so one of the times you might want all the power that this 120D has available to it is a time when you have a really bright background, like right now. We're just hitting golden hour, but we're in the shade, so we're kind of in this dark pocket, even though the sky is super bright, all the way up to 100%. Boom. Let's see if it's bright enough to light up this scene right here. Oh, I think it's good. Now we totally need to get you a Tinder profile pic. Okay. No, that's not what I meant. I'm gonna switch lenses real quick. Hold on. Look at that. You look nice and mysterious. I feel like you've done this before.
Oh, no idea.
I would swipe right so hard. Whenever I would power it off a V-mount battery like I'm doing right now, and I would crank this thing all the way up to 100%, it would automatically shut off. And what I realized now was that it's not the light's fault, it's actually the type of battery you have on here. And when you have this sucker on full blast, it needs about 180 watts of power. So that's a lot of power to put out a lot of output. So my issue was that I was kind of using low power, low amp batteries. But if you wanted to get to 100% without it shutting off on you, then that's when you really want that high amperage battery. So I'll link the ones that Aputure recommends down in the description. But again, you could use low powered ones and get this thing all the way up to like 80%, no problem. What the hell is that? What the, who the hell are you? What the?
Goo gaga motherfucker.
And we're back. I should edit my voice to sound all mysterious, like
one of those anonymous people. Like, look at that, I actually look pretty scary. Like, I could be some kind of tough guy.
But really, no, it's just me. Anyways, let's close this off by reading a few comments from my last video, which was all about the Weeble Lav gimbal. A pretty solid gimbal if you're looking for something to smoothen out a small mirrorless camera and you want something that's very compact, so a good travel option. Top comment was from the Traveling Clack. It says, potato jet juggling potatoes made my morning today. I've actually been practicing here. Check this out. Check out these fresh new skills, sucker. What up? I love learning random new crap like that. What's another thing I should try? Random skill I should learn? Give it to me down below in the comments. I'll try to learn some new stuff. Javier Mendez Photography says, I need one. My videos are shaky AF. Sips 5th cup of coffee. Javier, I'm right there with you because I'm always just like jacked up on coffee. My hands are always just like... I need as much image stabilization as possible. City the Great says, practice one-handed juggling with 2 objects. Makes 3-object juggling easier. Where were you one video ago when I needed this advice? That's not that easy. This is honestly pretty freaking tough. I'll be sure to practice that though. Will you be at NAB in Vegas next week? I will be there. Maybe I'll see you there. Jose Rodriguez says, I don't really have friends, but Potato Jet is like my brother, even though he doesn't know I exist. I know, Jose, that you exist. I see you right there. Your profile picture is a J, and that's all. Yeah. You seem like a cool guy though. Samsung S10 Plus versus cinema camera. I'm actually working on that right now. You see it? Right here. It's almost done, so hopefully we'll be able to post that later this week. Andrew Song says, IPA beer can lead to moobs. Google it now. IPA moobs. What is a moob? Oh, man boobs. This is not good. Please tell me this isn't real life. IPAs are my favorite beer. Honestly, I don't even like any other types of beer anymore. I love the hoppiness in the IPA, which is weird because I used to hate hoppy flavors. I would have like a sip of an IPA and I'd be like, oh, this is disgusting. Why do people like this? And my friends were like, well, it'll get you drunk faster. I'd be like, and now I love them. The hoppy ales contain citrostrogen. I'm not even gonna act like I know how to pronounce that. They can help you sleep at night and can be of aid to women going through menopause. However, they also contribute to man boobs. Thanks so much for ruining IPAs for me, Andrew. I'm just gonna go cry myself to sleep now. I couldn't fall asleep, so needed to pop one of these open. I think man boobs wouldn't look too bad on me. I don't know. I could rock man boobs.